Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Women Build virtual coffee break. I am joined today by Ramona Monteverde, who is a council representative, Ward 2 for the city of Newburgh, and the director of operations at Safe Harbors of the Hudson. And we are also joined by Lisa Morris, assistant vice president, public relations and corporate communications at the Hudson Valley Credit Union. We are here as part of Women Build Week. We know that Women Build Week looks a lot different than it has in the past, but we still felt that we could bring attention to women's issues in housing and shed some light on some local issues, as well as talk to Lisa about some possible solutions. We all know how important home is, especially during this pandemic that we're faced with, loss of jobs and the cost of living and the cost of housing going up as we speak. So we thought it would be really important to continue this tradition of discussing women's issues in particular, but just shedding light on the housing issues here in Newburgh. So with that, I would like to introduce Ramona, and she's going to speak a little bit about the city of Newburgh and some initiatives that they have going on right now.
Thank you, Amy. And I just want to say that I am so honored to be here celebrating Habitat's Women's National Build Day. And I was a part of it last year, I believe. And it's a little difficult now that we're in this pandemic, talking to you, reaching out to you on Zoom. So I hope that, you enjoy this as much as I enjoy being here. And again, I just want to say that, what Habitat is doing and what the women are doing today, I am so inspired. In fact, I am so inspired every day by the great and wonderful work that Habitat does in the city of Newburgh. And I am a council member for Ward 2, and Habitat is actually in my ward. And as a council member, I'm well aware of the current housing crisis in the city. We know that the homeowners to renter statistics is shockingly low, and we are currently working on that. We have brought that number up a little bit, so it would be 65% renters to, I believe, 35% homeowners. So it has gone up slightly, I want to say, and that is actually a very good thing. The city of Newburgh used to have hundreds of vacant properties, and we have managed to, in the last 3 years, I want to say, put quite a few of those back on the tax roll. So we are currently, that's been our focus. And we have partnered with Habitat and the Land Bank, REPCO, and several other organizations in the city of Newburgh to try and get these houses restored, the neighborhoods revitalized and back onto the tax roll, and get people as first-time home buyers in those homes. I know that the important work that Habitat does is more than laying bricks and mortar. It's more about laying the foundation for successful living and helping the community achieve the American dream of owning a home. So just look at what you have accomplished, Habitat, working with families through sweat equity, putting first-time home buyers, women and families in a beautifully restored home that they help to actually rehab through sweat equity. And revitalizing neighborhoods block by block, I know, is part of your mission. And we need to keep this momentum going. So as a council member and our other elected officials, we're aware of this, we're well aware of this, and we're working together to try and figure out how we can continue to, support Habitat, to support land banks, to support REPCO and first-time home buyers. We need to make the American dream possible for women and families. So how do we achieve that? We're looking at the city of Newburgh as a group and as a council. We're looking into programs and funding that will hopefully help first-time home buyers. We need to invest in neighborhoods where there is opportunity for growth and prosperity by developing housing that remains affordable, and Habitat has managed to do this. Buyers purchase a home, provide more diversity pathways for home ownership. We're looking at programs like encourage sustainable development and green building. We're working on several green initiatives in the city of Newburgh. Working with the land bank again to put vacant abandoned properties back onto the tax roll, and they're able to restore these beautiful homes. And really what we need is systemic approaches to making housing more accessible. So that's what we're currently working on. And I know that, the current housing crisis in the city of Newburgh, I want to say that it's only going to get better. It's taken many, many years for us to come up and work on a plan. And again, we've been working with Habitat, we've been working with the land bank and Repco, and we're going to do this. We're going to get it done, and we're going to, rehabilitate all of these vacant properties so that we can revitalize and bring back these beautiful neighborhoods like the South Miller block that Habitat has restored some beautiful homes. And I met with them not too long ago, and they're doing wonderful work there. They have a neighborhood association. They're going to be planting trees on that entire block soon. And that's the kind of work that we encourage and we support in the city of Newburgh. And we want to continue to see that happening and keep that momentum going. So thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Yes, we value the partnership we have with the city. Our work would not be possible without partnerships. The land bank and the city's involvement in our mission is crucial, and we really do appreciate the relationships and the hard work that is going into coming up with an actual plan to change the systems that are preventing the home ownership, the dream of owning your own home here in the city of Newburgh. So we work hard every day
Right.
towards that American dream, and assisting our home buyers in achieving that dream. So we really do appreciate everything and all the partnerships that we have been cultivating over the years, and really are seeing a difference. And I agree, South Miller is just such a pleasure. I started working for Habitat 5 years ago, and that's when we started that neighborhood. And I so enjoy taking a walk through there. And the mixture of properties there's rentals there, there's home ownership there, and yes, they have a great relationship with their neighborhood association, and they do cleanups and the flowers they've planted, and it's just lovely. And it is an inspiration, and it is a reminder of what is possible when we all work together to achieve these neighborhoods of, quality of living in these neighborhoods is improving, and that's the goal.
Absolutely.
So thank you for standing by, Lisa. We would love to hear from you and what's going on over at the Hudson Valley Credit Union, and shed a little light on how you all are helping her first-time home buyers achieve that dream.
Thank you. Yes, it is exciting to hear everything that Ramona's talking about, because we know that Newburgh is one of those jewels on the Hudson River that has really, it's in need of polish, and it's been getting it little by little, and it's really coming back. So we're really pleased to see that. Hudson Valley Credit Union's been around since 1963, and credit unions themselves are much, much older, over 100 almost now. And originally, credit unions were designed to promote thrift for people. They were designed as a financial cooperative where all of the depositors can come together to pool their money to then lend out to each other. And one of the primary reasons that we lend at Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union is for homes, for mortgages. And there's nothing that our people like better than to see the looks on people's faces when they do get the keys to that first brand new home. And I think people tend to think about first-time home buyers as younger people, maybe new families, or, people who just got married. but there are people all across the spectrum who are at a point in their life where they're finally able to buy their first brand new home. And the nice thing about Hudson Valley Credit Union is we really try to promote financial education along with the types of accounts that we have. So we don't want you to just take out a mortgage. We want you to understand what the mortgage means and what that repayment is and what it really does mean to own a home and be a part of a community and a neighborhood. And Habitat does that so well also. You don't just, build a house for somebody and hand them the keys and say, here, take care of it. There's a lot of things that go into home ownership that sometimes can scare a renter, I'm sure. If the landlord's taking care of the snow plowing and then suddenly it's your home and guess who has to shovel? There's a little bit of a rude awakening there. But with time and with some effort and financial planning, you can put yourself in a position where you can not only afford that down payment, but then the other things that go along with owning a home, like insurance, and all of the upkeep and things like that. I think one of the things that unfortunately this pandemic really brought to light for everyone is just how many people have been living paycheck to paycheck. And we have been trying for a long time to encourage people to get started on a savings plan as early as possible and as easily as possible. And one of the quickest ways to do that is to have direct deposit for your payroll if you don't do that already. What we tend to find is people who have payroll deductions so that their paycheck goes right into their savings or checking account. It's almost like out of sight, out of mind. You don't have a tendency to overspend if you can put that money right into the account and also start earning interest right away. People also tend to think that, well, I can only save $10 a week or $20 a week or $50 a week. That might not seem like a lot at the moment, but over time, and especially with compounding interest, you can actually achieve some great results. And for those of you who haven't heard that term before, compound interest is one of the best friends that you can make. Essentially what it is when you put money into an account that's earning interest, you not only earn interest on what you put in there, but every time you get interest and it gets added to the account, now you're earning more interest on top of that. So it's a way to save that helps to build your account so that you can have the affordability of that down payment. And the nice thing about mortgages these days also is there are so many varieties of them. And I won't get into all the specifics about fixed rate versus variable rate and 30-year versus 15, but we have mortgage consultants, as do many other financial institutions, that really can walk you through what the best options are. And some people might think right now, for example, well, I couldn't possibly pay off my mortgage in 15 years. But actually, interest rates are so low that many people are actually doing that. They're actually taking their 30-year mortgages and refinancing them as a 15-year mortgage, saving themselves money on their monthly payments, and then also paying off the mortgage faster. So it's those types of conversations that you can have with a mortgage specialist that can really make sure that you're making the right decision for yourself. Because in the end, like we're talking about, it doesn't have to be a dream anymore for people. I think home ownership really can be a reality with some pre-planning and some good advice from people that you trust. Habitat is one of those groups that we trust. Ramona, your work with Safe Harbors, I know, is another group in Newburgh that we trust. And we hope that people really trust the credit union also. And we've got several locations close by. If anyone wants to stop by, we're in Newburgh, New Windsor, a bunch of others. And I did send a note also. We can put in the chat, I believe, a link to a homeowner's guide that we've written. It's actually an ebook. It's very easy for you to go out and just order an ebook. It's free. Which is always nice. We like that 4-letter word. That's a good one. And it'll give you all types of information about mortgages and the process and how the credit union and some of our professionals can help you. So I'm really pleased to be here, and I'm all ready for my lesson later today. I'm so excited with learning how to do drywall. It's funny because my husband doesn't usually let me near the tools. I actually got to paint recently, but but maybe I can wow him with my new skills when I go home tonight.
That's great. Gary has put the ebook download link right there in the comments, so you can see that there. Click on that and check it out. Even if you do have your own home, I always like to learn more. Sometimes we don't even realize the things that are available to us at the credit union. For instance, like Lisa just mentioned, some people that had a 30-year now and are now into a 15-year. So there's always something to learn about budgeting. Here at Habitat, we do have several budget classes that our homeowners go through to improve their knowledge about the process, not only of the home buying process, but also, how to budget for emergencies. And, when we're faced with situations like we are in right now, we talk about the cost of home and how here in the Hudson Valley, the cost of living is high, and 1 in 5 people pay more than 50% of their income. That goes right to just having a roof over their head. So, here in the Hudson Valley, also we know that there has been employment loss, and we are faced with a crisis with the pandemic. And if you do have that savings account and you do have that emergency fund, we are able to get through situations like this, a little easier. If money is one of the things that you don't have to worry about, it's always a good thing to be able to focus on other things like your health and keeping your family safe. So we really appreciate your advice, Lisa, and we know that the credit union has great mortgage programs. Our homeowners do come in and they have that relationship with the credit union. So we always say use the bank that you have the relationship with, because they'll best help and counsel you through that process of the application, and also when it comes time to actually get that mortgage. Ramona, we really again appreciate you coming on with us today, talking about what's going on with the city.
And Amy, Lisa brought something up that reminded me, we've been selling the properties, the city-owned properties back. And what we're looking for these days, and I just want to make sure I put it out there, is, for home buyers, if you are interested in a property, we want to make sure that you go through a financial literacy course, just so that you're not surprised. I mean, people don't realize when you're renting, you have to worry about sanitation and water, and, include that, in your budget, because when you're hit with that sanitation bill and then the water bill and then property and school tax, that can be quite a surprise. So, what we're trying to prioritize right now is selling back our city-owned properties to people who are going to commit to living there as they rehab the properties. So, that's something you have to keep in mind. These are very old homes in the city of Newburgh. I own one. In fact, I call it a money pit, because, they're historical and they require a lot of upkeep. And that's another thing that you also have to account for.
Exactly. We don't like those surprises, but every homeowner knows that you are going to be faced with something breaking, or something needing an upkeep or an upgrade. And we also need that savings account for things like down the road we're going to need a new roof, or we're going to these things do have a lifespan, and we do need to plan for when we need to repair and replace items in our home. So, that is also part of the education course here at Habitat. We always try to prepare our home buyers for things like that. And that knowledge is just priceless. I know I wish that I had gone through any type of home ownership course, and I wasn't aware of them prior to working here in Habitat. I really wasn't aware of the programs and the first time home buyers club or anything like that. So yeah, so thanks for bringing those up. It was a great discussion. Women Build here in the city of Newburgh is a little different maybe than across the nation. So Women Build Week is celebrated internationally, and here in Newburgh, it's a little special. It's a little different. We don't just do Women Build for 1 week out of the year. Under normal circumstances, we have a Women Build house going all year round. So we have built 9 Women Build homes. We have completed 9 homes with 9 families living. And when we say Women Build, we mean that 75% of the work was done by women, and the house captains, as we call them, that lead the volunteers, are women. And most of the time the homes are bought by women. So it's a really special program, and one that Habitat Newburgh likes to run all year long and not just for 1 week out of the year. Some of our most beautiful homes are restored old homes, and they are just beautiful. And we recently had a conversation with a Women Build home buyer, and the thing that stuck out in my mind with the conversation she had was that when she got to the Women Build site and saw that this house was being constructed by women, and if they could build this whole house, she could learn how to repair little things. And learn she did. And she enjoys fixing things around the house. She likes to switch her decor up, and is fully enjoying home ownership, and has been in her home for 3 years now.
That's great.
And she did talked about how much having a home as a registered nurse, which she just graduated last month, and with that she had been an LPN prior, having that home and being able to take off her scrubs in a location where her children weren't exposed to that, and working in the front lines and having a space for each of her children, and how that she felt that was able to keep them safe, meant the world to her, and really enabled her to go out and be a nurse. So home ownership is achievable. And that's really why we're here. We want to inspire folks to just take the steps, go and talk to someone down at the credit union, look at that list of properties that are for sale through the city and the land bank. And if you have questions, here at Habitat, we take applications for our program all year round. And we are here for you to answer any questions about the process, and have resources, and are always available to answer questions that, of course, come up during this very complicated process of buying a home. It is a process, and we encourage anyone with thoughts of wanting to own a home to reach out to any one of us and learn what it takes to get started with that process.
Amy, how long is that process, by the way?
So, the Habitat process, everyone always asks us that. And because it involves sweat equity, and home buyers can complete those hours at their own pace. So some families complete them more quickly than others. So some folks might complete the program in 6 or 9 months, and it might take others 18 months. so if you're working during the day and you can't come during the week to get those sweat equity hours and you're doing it on a Saturday, it might take you longer than the person that perhaps works nights and is off and can come in 3 days a week. So it does vary. There isn't a set time. The education portion takes 6 to 7 months by the time you sit through all those classes and take the HUD certified home buyers program, which we partner with Pathstone for that. So it does vary. And we also have to think about how long it takes to construct a home. We are behind a little bit because of the pandemic. So unfortunately, some of our home buyers that have been in the program are going to, be a little bit delayed due to the construction slowdown. So but we are looking forward to getting back in the swing of things. And I keep saying we are building back. And we're only able to do that because of partnerships with folks at like the credit union, the city of Newburgh, the land bank, and others. So
Right.
we are making progress. You can drive through plenty of blocks in the city of Newburgh and see just see the work that's been going on, whether it Habitat or another organization or individual investors. We see that over on William Street, across the street from our properties. That is not an organization doing that work. Those are private folks that own those buildings and are just sprucing them up, inspired perhaps by Habitat's work, but that does happen too. So again, we really appreciate everyone joining us today for this special coffee break. Again, we want to shed light on and raise awareness of the issues that are faced by women in housing. And we also want to bring light to the fact that Habitat and its partners are here to assist and really do work every day to help women in the community become homeowners and support each other, learn new things, whether it just be, learning how to caulk in a women build project or drywall, like we'll be showing you later today, or just a friendship, or how to be a good neighbor. We are here trying to build women up, and we appreciate the funding provided by Lowe's Home Improvement and the locally here by the Hudson Valley Credit Union. And we can't do what we do without those partnerships as well.
It was great to be with you guys today. I hope everybody enjoyed their coffee break.
Yes, wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much, ladies. And also, we just want to let you know that at 1 p.m. we will be doing another broadcast, and it is going to be led by Woman Build volunteer Tony and our AmeriCorps Gabby, and they will be showing you how to repair holes in the wall, holes of different sizes, how to work that spackle and that spackle knife, even repair a larger hole. So they will be here with us again, unfortunately not live, but on Zoom via the magic of the internet. We'll be back later on at 1 p.m. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and we hope we'll see you at 1.
Thank you, Amy.
Everybody.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.